Hello guys, and welcome to the channel 925 Data, where we talk about data analytics. In this video, we'll be talking about the Home tab and its subsections. And the subsections are the Clipboard, data, queries, insert, calculations, sensitivity, share, and Copilot. So we'll be looking at this one after the other, and the first one is the Clipboard. And we can see that it has button for paste, cut, copy, and format painting. So if you are familiar with Microsoft, these are something you should really understand. So they are just our basic cut, copy, and paste functionality. The format painter works differently from here because it allows us just to take the properties of a particular visuals and apply it to another visual. So they are grayed out right now because we don't have a data loaded into our Power BI. So the next subsection is the data. So we have button for get data, Excel workbook, one catalog, SQL Server, enter data, dataverse, and recent sources. So if you go to get data and you click on the drop down menu, so we have the common data source that we can connect to, like the Excel workbook, Power BI semantic model, and the rest. And if you go down and click on more, so this is where we get to see all the list of available data source that we can connect to in Power BI, and they've been grouped into different categories. So if you look at all, this is all the data sources that we can connect to in Power BI. And if you click on file, this gives us options to connect to a particular file like the Excel workbook, XML, JSON, and folder, PDF, package, SharePoint folder. So for databases, we have a list of databases that we can connect to here, like the Postgres, MySQL, Oracle, and even the SQL Server database and Snowflakes. So you see a list of databases that are supported here, and if you click on Microsoft Fabric, so this is where you'll be able to connect to Power BI semantic model, data warehouse from Microsoft Fabric, Lakehouse, and KQL databases from Microsoft Fabric. And there's the Power Platform also, which you can connect to something like maybe Dataverse, Power BI Data Flow, and also the legacy system, which is a common data service, which is now known as Dataverse. So we also have Azure, which we can connect to different Azure data sources, like maybe the Azure SQL database, Azure Synapses Analytics SQL, and even Azure Blob Storage. And think of any other thing like maybe the Cosmo DB. And also we have online services like the SharePoint Online, Microsoft Exchange Online, the Dynamic 365, Salesforce Objects, Salesforce Reports, and think of any other thing. We have a whole lot of them here that Power BI support, and even LinkedIn Learning, you can connect to that. And if you go to others, so these are just other type of data sources supported by Microsoft. So if you look at the OLEDB, ODBC, you can also connect to a Python script or R script, and we can also connect to Spark, and also we can connect to a whole lot of data sources that are here. So something like Google Sheets, you can connect to that. So right now, we are not going to connect to any of this right now. So if you go back to the data subsection, Power BI has provided us with some single button to connect to different data sources easily. Like if you click on Excel workbook, you can easily connect instantly with an Excel workbook, and same thing with OneLake, and same thing with SQL Server. If you click on SQL Server, so it's going to also try to connect to SQL Server. So you'll be asked to provide your SQL Server name, the database you want to connect to it, and the data connectivity mode, which is very important. So we have the import mode and the DirectQuery mode. So the import mode gets the data from the server and then imports it into Power BI. So the DirectQuery mode is for us to connect without bringing the data into Power BI. And we have this advanced option here where you can set a timeout in minutes if Power BI tries to connect and something happens with the connection. So you can set up a time out in minutes, and also you can add some SQL statements to the database you are connecting. So the statement is going to run against the database you are connecting. So there's also options to include relationship in column, navigate to using full hierarchy, and also we have enable SQL Server failover support, which is an option for you to prevent data loss. So these are the options that are available in connecting to SQL Server database. And again, the other button in the data subsection is the enter data, which will give you something like an Excel format way where you can, at the top, you can actually name this and say maybe put name, and then copy and paste whatever the value of that column is, and you can also change the name of the table. So this is usually good if you want to create a fast lookup table without trying to import data into Power BI. So you can use this option. And the other one, so I'm not saving this, yeah. So the other one is data vars, which we have seen before. So this allows you to connect with data from Power Platform, like maybe data for Power Apps or maybe something for the Power Automate. And also this recent sources button, when you click on the drop down, you get a list of recent data sources that you have connected with. Because you are new and you are just using Power BI for the first time, you won't get options or you won't get to see anything in this. So we move to the query subsection, which we have two buttons there. We have the transform data and the refresh. So for the refresh, it is grayed out right now. So what it does is that it refreshes all the data set, which is also known as data model or semantic model, in your Power BI and get you the latest data. So especially if you use import mode query. So this is really important when you are doing development in Power BI. So you are a day behind, and clicking the refresh button will get you the updated data. So for data transformation, if you click at the top half of this, it's going to take us into what we know as Power Query Editor. So this is what you see when it comes to the Power Query Editor. It's going to open a new window entirely. So because we don't have data in our Power BI right now, so it is not going to display anything. So we will be talking about Power Query in upcoming videos. So let's just close this tab and go back to our Power BI. And if you click on this drop down menu, you would also see the transform data that we saw earlier, which will take us to Power Query. And there's data source settings. This will allow you to change the data source, the setting of your data source, like maybe credential settings, or maybe trying to point Power BI to the right Excel file or CSV file. So that is the work of data source settings. So we also have the grayed out options of edit parameters and edit variables, which are also part of what we use to configure our data source settings. So the next one is the insert subsection, which has the new visual and the text box and the more visual. So the new visual, if you click on it, it's just like you want to start a new visualization, and clicking on the new visual will bring this blank visual onto our canvas, and it is always default to the stack column chart. So if I can actually remove this right now. So that is the work of the new visual button. So we have the text button, which will allow us to put text into our canvas. Just like when we are working with PowerPoint, we can say this is text box. So this is the work of the text box. It allows us to put text into our visual, and we have more visual button. So if you click on it, you will see that there is an option of from app source or from a file. So if you click from your file, this allows us to bring third-party visualizations into Power BI that are not natively available to Power BI. So the format this is going to look for is the PBVs, which is PBVIZ files format. And the other option is to go to the app source, which is a third-party Power BI market where a lot of people publish different Power BI visualizations that are not natively available in Power BI. And sometimes there are some that are available in Power BI, but people publish some advanced visualizations here. So say, for example, you're looking for something like maybe you're looking for box plot, which is not natively available in Power BI. So you get it in the in this app source, which is a marketplace for different visualization. So, and once you click on any of them, so sometimes some of them are free, some of them are paid. So say for example, you click on this box and whisker and you get more information on that, and this is going to tell you if it is going to be free. Say for example, this one says add for free or buy an upgraded plan. So you get to see if it is free or not. And if you click on this add, so this is added to your Power BI and you get to see it on your visualization pane. This is the visualization we just added. So for now, if you right click on it, you can pin it to visualization. So that is about the insert. So the calculation, which is grayed out right now because we don't have any data in our Power BI. We have the new visual calculation, the new measure, and the click measure. So the new measure is just a way to write formulas across your data, which we use the DAX formula, which is known as data analysis expression. We'll be talking more about that. And for the quick measure, it's just going to bring up a pop-up for you and try to come up with some idea to give you a quick measure based on your data set. And for the three subsections that we have the sensitivity, we have the share, and the Copilot. So sensitivities allow you to put some data governance around your data. So if you click on the drop-down menu, you can see personal, public, general, confidentiality. So this allows you to put some data security around your data, especially if you work with very highly sensitive data. And the share, which is grayed out right now, has a publish button, which allows you to push whatever report or dashboard you have created into the Power BI online service, so that we discussed earlier. So for the Copilot subsection, we have the prepared for data button and the Copilot. So the prepared for data button is grayed out, and what it does is actually prep your semantic model for AI. So puts it in the proper structure so that AI can actually look at it and read into it. And it should be useful when you try to build a dashboard where people can use natural language to prompt the dashboard. So Copilot, on the other hand, allows us to uncover insights in your data with the help of AI and also help us to write complex DAX formula. So this is all about the Home tab in Power BI. So in the next video, we'll be looking at the Insert tab. So don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.